Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now today we're gonna do some very interesting speculations. I am gonna need all of your opinions down in the comments below. Today we're in Enlisted forums and we're gonna be brainstorming on what if Enlisted added a battle rating 6 to the game. Therefore, expanding the tech tree not necessarily means that we're gonna get tons of new stuff, because we already kind of have a lot of stuff apart from Japan that we can segregate out, maybe stretch it out a little bit to create BR6. But now we're going to be reading a suggestion to resolve the BR5 power creep by EVA Gladiator in Enlisted forum. Don't get too rushed with your opinions. We're going to read through this. We're going to look at tech trees. We're going to figure out where the things are standing as of now and what it would be like if we would have BR6. There are a lot of issues to resolve, and I know what most of you are going to say, but let's start reading. With the past several updates, we continue to see increasingly powerful weapons stack into the BR5 queue. Depending on faction population, this can lead to extremely powerful BR5 guns being put in BR3 lobbies. Happens very rarely, but it still does happen. Soft rules, hard rules, you know how it goes. As such, I present a modest proposal to split the endgame BR into BR5 and BR6. Below are what I imagine would possibly be split, but are certainly not concrete, and I am open to feedback on adjustment. Now, I think Gladiator has done a really good job presenting it very nicely. Super easy to understand. It's going to be super easy to understand. Now, the things we already have and the things we already know. BR5 would consist of early select fire rifles such as FG42s, the basic FG42, AVS36, M2 carbine. Japan would probably need new guns to fill the role. Japan are going to need quite a lot to actually fulfill this BR6 potential. Late SMGs such as the Kirali, PPSH 41 drum, Thompson 50, yada, something like that would be for the SMGs. Early assault rifles like the MKB series, late MGs such as MG15, Maxim Tokarev, Type 100 MG, and then planes as needed. Gladiator here has said I'd move Focke-Wulf with rockets here. Focke-Wulf on paper may be a BR5, but it's definitely not the greatest plane. We'll look at it in Tech 3 and we'll try and figure it out. With tanks, it's certainly more easier. Early heavy tanks like Panther, Tiger 1, IS-1, Jumbo, and Cheery. We don't know how the Cheery plays, but based on all the stats, guns and armor and things like that, there or thereabout, be in between 4 and 5, I would say. So that's the proposal for BR5. Now, everything that's next gen, cooler, better, stronger, would go into the BR6, and it's very nicely laid out here. For BR6, we would consist of endgame select rifles such as FG42-2, AVT-40, T-20, Type Hey Auto. At least Japanese has like a super good fast firing auto rifle in top tier, so at least they are kind of scoring it there. That's pretty good. Endgame assault rifles like STGs, Fyodorovs, and Hyde ARs. Hyde is obviously not in the game yet, but it's, I suppose, expected to be rather good, so that's why it's up here. And endgame MGs like MG42-100. Again, it's not going to be here, but we all know how an MG42 plays, and this one's going to have a 100 round belt. The A6 Browning, 100 round thingy. Stinger is mentioned here, which I think it's slightly out of place. I agree. In terms of battle rating, the event Stinger should probably go. If this would happen, it would go to BR6 100%. But how many actually has the Stinger? I did not do the event when it happened, and I was unlucky enough to get it in gambling boxes, so I don't even have a Stinger. It doesn't really mean much to me. RD44 and things like that would end up in BR6. Endgame planes like P47, JU188, TU2, and the note is planes with tons of HE potential, so rockets, tons of deadly rockets, a lot of bombs, things like that, would go to the BR6. I'm not sure about JU188 because it's a very clunky and super easy thing to shoot down. I don't think it would go to BR6, but we'll take a look at the Tech 3 and we'll try and picture things and imagine. That's why this is proposal, you know, it's not set in stone. Endgame tanks, King Tiger, Super Pershing, probably a Hori, what else do we like, IS-2, yeah, things like that. That's why it says etc. So yeah, that's the proposal. I think quickly glancing at it, it's a pretty good setting here. For example, like the IS-1s and Tiger 1s and Panthers, Jumbos, they all have sort of a trade off. Okay, Panthers are actually pretty good. Tigers are kind of good as well. IS-1 is kind of like, is it BR4? Is it BR5? Like where does it go? So if you could like segregate it out from BR6s, and then it would get like queues with top tier, and down to like BR4s, it would probably perform well. Jumbo, for example, super good armor. The gun's not that powerful, so again, it's kind of like not here, not there. So yeah, it's very nice to have a suggestion like this. And the last, before we touch onto the tech threes, from there, I would also recommend Darkflow make the matchmaking ±1 in a match. Now, this is a yes and no. I've seen comments below saying that people that play BR3 really enjoy the fact they can get up tiered all the way, and it's suddenly like a super sweaty game, and then the next one they can be super down tiered. And so for those people that like to have super sweaty, sudden, massive up tier games, this would probably not be in favor. In matchmaking, it would mean that it would split people up even a little bit more. I don't think it would be too like a big an effect, but I think there would be certain time periods where certain battle ratings would be kind of dead-ish. You would just go to the game and be a lot of bots and things like that. For that, we probably need a lot more players in the Enlisted community. With that, players that prefer the more historical feel of BR3 to BR4 would no longer be fighting constantly against pseudo AK-47s and prototype weapon spam, while the players who do like the endgame gear are always fighting the gear that can hold its own in a handle of the average player, in theory. Even as an experienced player, I can easily see the equipment disparity between BR3 and BR5 in its current state. I believe this would open up more guns to being considered useful and help remove some pressure from the mid BR players. Right, here we are in the tech tree. Wow, that was a weird glitch. So we're just basically just imagining things. SU, this is a BR5. IS, this is a BR5. Now this is an 85 mil. Would this be considered constantly okay to play against top tier big tigers? Not always. IS-1 obviously can take out Tiger 2s, but like I think the best matchup, well, like IS-1 is like all of the Panther line. 75 long barrel, trolley armor, like you can still pen it, but like it's kind of strong-ish, you know? So I think in that kind of sense, it would be nice. For aircraft, it would be super difficult to tell where the split is between 5 and 6, obviously. Now for the tanks, probably, arguably, the Pershing would probably go to BR6. I would almost imagine, is it here? It's not even here. The premium Firefly, because I don't know, a gun or something like that, could probably go to BR6. Maybe the long barrel Jumbo. Everything else here, like I don't feel like any of these tanks, like these are barely BR5-6 tanks. Like Americans don't really have like a super real top tier, super strong tank, and even the Super Pershing, like it's gonna be taken out easy by 88 mil. So again, that's a bit like a hit and miss, but I get where this is coming from. P-47s with HRs, Corsairs probably can move on, but that feels like it's gonna leave a bit of a gap here. Maybe Corsair can stay in BR5, and then the P-47 maybe like BR6 or something like that. There's a lot to think about when you look at the tech tree. T-20, Thompson 50, T-20, yeah, Browning A6. These two guns were proposed to go into BR6. Maybe it would opens up, you know, an area where to add even more stuff to the game. Let's look at German guns. SDGs for sure, BR6. FG42 for sure, BR6. MG15 is probably mentioned as BR6 just because it's like the last one. So yeah, and then obviously the new one with the 100. Oh, actually this could be BR. Yeah, I think it was mentioned as a BR5, and then the new one with the 100 round belt would go definitely to 6. These two guys 100% can go easily to 6, and then the Tigers would be okay for 5, even though one of them is BR4 even. Plane wise, 1, 2 decent fighters. A8 needs to stay here. It can't go anywhere. G14 could probably go. D12, K4 J4 could probably go up easily. For the JU, it's like the crappiest target in the world. And I understand the comparison. This thing has 6 250 kilo bombs, right? And the newly added in the next patch, we're gonna get a new Soviet plane that's gonna have 6 250 kilo bombs as well. And it's gonna be top tier, but it's gonna be top tier because it's more, this is like a heavy bomber thingy. That thing is gonna be like a ground striker, CAS, fairly maneuverable, still has good guns and nose, can defend itself. So I can understand that being 5 or maybe 6. Probably more like 5. But yeah, Ju-188 is definitely not in the same bucket to go any higher. Tokarevs, 44s, Fyodorovs, AVT-40s, things like that could probably easily go up. These aircraft, IL-10 probably stay here, and then the new one could go maybe to 6. LA-7 is top tier plane. This can go way up. I-185 way up, something like that. Everything else looks okay. Obviously IS-2s can go up. IS-1 probably stays here. Like, they have so many similar tanks here that, you know, same as Americans, that you can just, like, where do you put them? How do you do it? For the Japanese, mentioned up to things that could go up. Type 100 MG, I don't think it's like, it's big and loud and it looks cool and all, but I don't think it's like effective. Like, it's barely, like, you see the BR5 and Japanese. I would say the plane, yes. This plane probably, yes. They're really, really freaking good. Key 84 100% could go up easy. Type Hey to 6, yeah, could probably go easy. Hori production, yes, easy. Type 100 MG, I don't know. I don't think it's like super effective to go anywhere. Like, it's barely playable at tier 5 at least, but I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Perks, upgrades, my aim's just naturally bad. But yeah, Japan would struggle. They would need a lot more, otherwise people be playing like a tank and a plane and a rifle from BR6, and everything else would be BR4s and 5s, but you would still be versing, for example, American Super Pershings and things like that, and all of the super top tier. What the heck was that? I have no idea what that was. My game just glitched and I had sound in headphones. Did you hear that as well? No idea. Yeah, T20s and everything, it will be quite painful for Japan. But yeah, interesting suggestion, 100%. Let me know down in the comments below what you think. Where would you put things? Is this a good idea? Do we have enough player base to separate them out even more? Overall, I see this as a good train of thought. We could probably polish it up a little bit, do some matchmaking, soft rules, hard rules, and it would be solid. Just put in the effort, 2025, and we could probably make it work. Us as a player base, 100%, I think it would be more interesting. Stretch it out, room for more new additions to the game, and yeah, maybe the power creep and like the whole power is just kind of like spread out more evenly. Yeah, that's what I think. Again, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you do leave your comments down below. And yeah, if you totally agree with this post, you can go to the forum, and yeah, you can just upvote it. So maybe there's a higher chance for someone up there actually see it. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna leave you. Goodbye.